The Met Gala has become a staple on the entertainment schedule, known as the Party of the Year, the Fashion Oscars, the biggest red carpet on the East Side. Andrew Leon Talley called it a Super Bowl of fashion social events. But whatever you name it, one thing is certain: this is the most important and biggest night in art and fashion fundraising. But it hasn't always been the case. So how did a small industry benefit dinner turn into the biggest fashion night gala extravaganza? I will tell you in this video. It all started in 1948 when the PR queen Eleanor Lambert hosted the first dinner known as the Costume Institute Benefit to raise funds for the newly formed Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Arts. Eleanor Lambert has many contributions to the fashion world. She founded the first international best dressed list. She organized the Council of Fashion Designers of America. She hosted the first New York Fashion Week, and now in 1948 she organized what is now known as the Met Gala. It was just a small midnight dinner that took place inside the legendary Waldorf Astoria Hotel on the Upper East Side in Manhattan, and the ticket prices were only $50. Yet as a PR queen, she already posted on the invitation that was the party of the year. For the first 12 years, the dinner location was changing in different venues across Manhattan, and in 1964, the Party of the Year was first hosted in Now Forever Home in Metropolitan Museum of Art. Diana Vreeland was a legendary editor of Vogue and Harper's Bazaar magazines who single-handedly changed the whole face of the Met Gala with wildly provocative themes and more attention and emphasis on the celebrity side of things. It is not a widely known story, but according to the book Jackie's Style by the Pamela Clark Cook, it was Jacqueline Kennedy who found a place for Diana Vreeland at the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Arts. It's been known that they've been friends for over 20 years, and Miss Diana Vreeland helped Jackie with her outfits when she was the First Lady of the United States of America. So in 1971, when 69-year-old Diana Vreeland was dismissed from her job as the editor-in-chief of Vogue, a woman who had devoted all her life to fashion didn't know what to do. So Jackie, with her friends, other New York socialites who also were advised by Diana Vreeland back in the days, they all came up with a brilliant idea. They decided to put Miss Diana Vreeland as the special consultant to the Costume Institute of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which was a sleepy division back then and was frequented mostly by researchers and scholars and fashion designers. So they even raised money so that her salary for 2 years would be paid for. They proposed this idea to Theodore Rousseau, a chief curator of the museum, who ran it by the Theodore Having, director of the museum. But the director didn't really believe it was a great idea, but once he heard that the salary had been raised for 2 years, now he was interested, and he said, okay, let's try it. But honestly, he didn't believe that Diana Vreeland would last more than 6 months. But oh boy, he was wrong. Not only she lasted for 14 years until her death at the age of 86 in 1989, but she became one of his top 3 curators of the museum. Diana Vreeland put her editorial eye and maximalist taste to the Costume Institute's exhibitions. She was the first one who would introduce themes for every year, and also followed by the dress code for the gala party and the interiors to match. Her first theme was the world of Balenciaga in 1993, about a fashion designer, Cristobal Balenciaga, who had passed away a year earlier. Fittingly, it was sponsored by the government of Spain, and it was like an immersive experience. Flamenco music was playing, and the Balenciaga perfume was sprayed in galleries 2-3 times a day. It was a great commercial success, attracting more than 150,000 visitors for the museum. Every year, the themes and their execution became more and more elaborate. Jackie Kennedy herself hosted 2 events of Met Galas and exhibitions in 1976 and in 1977. The first one was about the glory of the Russian costume, and another a Vanity Fair treasure trove. She penned introductions for the catalogs, she helped with the organization of the gala evening, but also she helped with securing the loans. She went herself to USSR to secure the loans of precious items like the Catherine the Great's wedding dress and the Peter the Great's 3-foot-high boots. Secondly, another thing that Diana Vreeland introduced to the Met Gala was inviting A-list celebrities and guests that spanned beyond fashion. Think of Cher, Liza Minnelli, Barbara Streisand, Elizabeth Taylor, Diana Ross, Andy Warhol, Bianca Jagger. As Kristen Bateman writes, such guests, combined with ultra-dramatic settings and distinctively visual themes, meant that the Met Gala became more that of a party that anyone who was anyone wanted to get into, a who's of who of society, celebrity, and high fashion, rather than merely an industry-only fundraiser evening. The event started to feel more exclusive than ever. In 1983, Diana Vreeland organized a historic exhibition about the first living designer, Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent, 25 years of design, was a tremendous success and left a mark both on the industry and the museum. First, it put modern and not only historical fashion in the museum settings. Also, it solidified Yves' creativity as something worthy of a museum and something eternal. And also, it brought younger, hipper and bolder crowd to the museum. Overall, the Vreeland's exhibitions at the Met induced many people to visit the museum for the very first time. Andrew Leon Talley, who was Vogue's creative director, writer and editor, he started his career as an apprentice to Diana Vreeland at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in 1974, which then led him to a career in writing and journalism. When Diana Vreeland passed away in 1989, Met's curator and prolific art writer Richard Martin took over the fashion exhibitions at the Costume Institute, along with Harold Koda, then curator-in-chief of the Costume Institute. Under their direction, such exhibitions as Cubism and Fashion, Rock Style, and Gianni Versace in 1997, the year of his assassination, came out. According to Emmy Adele's biography of Anna Wintour, in 1995, Vogue's editor-in-chief received a call from designer Oscar de la Renta and his wife Annette, asking if Vogue magazine would help with the party of the year. The thing is that Metropolitan Museum realized that they need some help with the exhibitions, especially after Diana Vreeland's passing, but they knew that if they put a designer in charge, that would be a conflict of interest, but they needed somebody from the fashion industry to help. And Anna fulfilled her mission brilliantly. The first exhibition she hosted was themed as haute couture, which was a retrospective on the haute couture industry from 1850s up until the modern times, featuring Gianfranco Ferré and Gianni Versace. All the celebrity designers, and back then designers were not even celebrities yet, but they all were in attendance, along with the fashion models like Naomi Campbell and Kate Moss. Ticket prices has been gradually going up, and by 1995 they hit a mark of $1,000 per ticket. The following year, the torch of hosting was passed from Anna to her competition, then editor-in-chief of Harper's Bazaar's magazine, Liz Tilbury's. She hosted Met Gala on a theme of Christian Dior, and her guest of honor was one and only Princess Diana, who was at the very height of her fame. She was dressed in a slip dress by a newly appointed designer of Dior by John Galliano, also holding a small Lady Dior bag. That was the only and a very memorable appearance of Princess Diana at the Met Gala. The following year, Anna Wintour was back hosting the Met Gala, and she has been doing this ever since. She completely shook all the things at the Met Gala. She is credited in turning it from an industry event to a cultural phenomenon, and what millions of dollars she has been raised. As the ticket prices have been going up exponentially, by 2008, tables could be purchased at $75,000, and tickets, just one ticket, would be $7,500. In 10 years, by 2018, tables would cost a minimum of $200,000, with a ticket of $30,000. And just last year, in 2025, according to BBC, one ticket would cost $75,000. On top of that, the exhibitions that she was overlooking were drawing millions and millions of visitors from all over the world. Alexander McQueen Savage Beauty was the first blockbuster exhibition for the Costume Institute, attracting over 600,000 visitors. It became a benchmark for the museum's curator Andrew Bolton to keep up with that success, and it only kept growing. In 2015, China Through the Looking Glass attracted over 800,000 visitors. And in 2018, the exhibition Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination, about the impact of Catholicism on haute couture, attracted breaking 1,659,647 visitors, one of which was yours truly. In 2014, Michelle Obama cut the ribbon, opening the Anna Wintour Costume Center at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The remodeled center contained the galleries for the Costume Institute, the library, the conservation laboratories, and the offices. It was made possible by the donation of the billionaire Tisch family, as well as all the millions that Anna has raised for the museum. Just giving you the ideas of the numbers. While the cost and extravagance have gone up, so have the profits. In 2011, the total income was $12.5 million. The expenses for the party and for the exhibition were $5 million, which resulted in the total sum raised for the museum of $7.5 million. In 2018, the total income was $20.5 million, and the expenses of the party, of the Met Gala, of the exhibition itself was $8.5 million. But still, the profit for the museum to run the Costume Institute was $12 million. Today, Met Gala is not just a red carpet. Even Anna Wintour herself says that it's like a theater, and arrivals to the Met Gala red carpet gave us many memorable images, like Rihanna in her yellow guape coat that turned her into an omelette meme, or that memorable Blake Lively's Versace dress that was transforming into the homage for New York City, or literally a 16-minute performance of Lady Gaga in 2019 in her hot pink Brandon Maxwell gown that started changing into other gowns and all ended up being a lingerie with fishnet stockings. And all of those costumes, appearances, and even the time on the red carpet, it all has to be approved by Anna Wintour herself. She oversees everything, from decor to how the food looks on the plates during the dinner, who is coming and who is seated where, all the charts, everything. Fun fact, when Jennifer Lopez and Marc Anthony started dating, they didn't want people to know that yet. So during the Met Gala, they were seated in a way in the table, so they're back to back, so technically they were seated together, but they would not appear like a couple. And it all comes through the mastermind of thinking of Anna Wintour. She also has a bigger organizational impact for the exhibitions due to her power. According to Amy Odell, when the Chinese government didn't want to loan some of the items for the exhibition, China Through the Looking Glass, fearing that they could be damaged, she would take a one-day trip to China to speak personally with some Chinese government officials and to secure a loan. For everything that goes into the organization of the exhibition, into planning the party of the year, or what goes behind the scenes of the fundraising events, I highly recommend you to watch the documentary called First Monday in May. The Met Gala is not just a fundraiser for an art institution or the biggest fashion night, even though one of the most important ones, but it raises bigger philosophical questions and cultural conversations. Does fashion belong to a museum? Where are the boundaries between a camp costume or the techie costume party? And even if a historic garment like Marilyn Monroe's iconic dress should be even worn. What stars will be wearing this year? How much money they will raise for the museum? Or any other philosophical questions that might be raised, we will see very soon on the first Monday of May. This was Darina Granik and Darina Granik Culture Club. Follow this page and stay tuned for more events.